Simone, let's go on over to you. Who are you taking in this game?
I didn't even know the Jacksonville Jaguars were 3-1. I haven't kept up with anybody else, but that's pretty interesting.
Doesn't mean I'm super high on the Chargers. I'm just saying, based on the patterns and they are a solid team, I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Oh, we know, Ryan. We know.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL.
We do want to start off here with the Chargers because they are number one still, at least heading into week 5 in the AFC West. And the Chargers are going to be facing the Washington Commanders. Chargers are coming off of a loss against the Giants. Certainly need to get right. Andrew, do you believe that this is the game where you guys get back on track?
Dear God, I hope so. I think Jaden Daniels probably will play, which is I'm a little frustrated, or I would like him not to play this game, but it does look like he should be available. I'm not sure about Scary Terry. I think bottom line, we got to go back to just playing some bully ball and just run the ball, get more touches, and really just start pounding the rock a little more. I understand the argument of spreading it out when you have Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, who really hasn't done a whole lot this season so far. And Quentin Johnson, he's QB1 on this team right now. He's looked really good downfield. So I can understand why you would want to throw the ball, but Herbert cannot keep getting hit, right? The good news is the Chargers aren't going up against a great defensive line right now. So I think we should be okay to potentially do some quick passes and kind of continue on with the quick game that we want to have and what we've been doing these past 2 weeks. But I really want to see it be a little more of a mix, pass and throw, and really control this game from beginning to end. Bottom line, the Chargers defense is elite. I think we are actually, I was just looking at the stats on it as we were chatting. We're 4th in the league, only giving up 17.8 points per game, right? We're scoring around 24 points per game. So as long as we're not turning the damn ball over, which is what we did last week against the Giants, we're going to be fine. Chargers should win this game.
Marcus, let's go on over to you. Are you also going to take the Chargers in this game?
The fact that it's only a 3-point spread is kind of interesting. Yep. Daniels, he might play. It's trending in that direction. McLaurin probably not going to play. So they're going to be relying on, guys like Luke McCaffrey. They just signed Robbie Anderson as well today. So Robbie, the chosen one, Anderson. It looks like 80% of the money is on the Chargers in this game. And I think with Daniels coming back, and I think the Commanders, honestly, being without a lot of guys last week, and the fact they even kept that game close to Atlanta, I think Commanders, man, I'm going to go Commanders to upset this week. I think that spread's really weird, and I think Von Miller's going to bring it back, man. He's playing against his old foes, the Chargers. He's going to come back and muster up a sack in this one. I'll go Commanders in this one for an upset.
Let's go down to Ryan. Ryan, what are your thoughts? I know sometimes you like to take the hot hand. Are you going to take the hot hand again?
Even if Jaden Daniels plays, they're still going to kind of, be figuring out getting back in the groove with him since he's been out. I mean, they kind of been up and down. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I think last week, like I said, it was a trap game. They're going to get right this week, and they're going to go back to doing their business as usual.
All right. We got Ryan taking the Chargers. So let's go ahead and wrap up this game. Kick it on over to Simone. Simone, are you going to make this 3 out of 4 Chargers, or are you going to have it split evenly down the middle?
Only because I can't count them out. I got to go with the Chargers on this one. Whether or not Jaden Daniels does play, I feel like they have enough firepower offensively and defensively to compete with them all 4 quarters of the game. And this seems like it could be a bounce back game for the Chargers. So, yeah.
Into the next game, because Marcus, your Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming off of 2 back-to-back wins, are now facing the Jags. The Jags, who are 3-1, they're actually looking better than people are giving them credit for. If the playoffs started today, they would be in the race. So definitely a test here for the Chiefs. Marcus, what do you have happening in this one?
People are actually already hyping up the Jaguars this week. Once we beat the Ravens, wait till they play the Jaguars. It's a real defensive test. And right now, they are ranked 5th best scoring defense in the league. However, if you look at the offenses they've played, they've faced the 23rd, the 26th, the 29th, and the 30th ranked offenses so far this season. So, again, like we talked about the first 5 weeks of the season, we don't really know what kind of teams we're dealing with here, but they played chumps as far as offensively over the last few weeks. They played Purdy coming back from a toe injury, Juwan Jennings getting knocked out of that game against the Niners. I think, Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Jacksonville on Monday night. Primetime Mahomes against Trevor Lawrence. I think Spags is going to whip up a nice little game plan for old T-Law. I'll take the Chiefs big this week.
Marcus taking his Chiefs. Ryan, are you also going to take the Chiefs in this one to get their 3rd straight win?
I don't see the Chiefs losing this one. Everyone's talking up the Jaguars for some reason, and for good reason, but Chiefs starting to get on that roll now. The snowball is going to turn into an avalanche soon. I think the Jaguars still have a lot to figure out. Like you mentioned, Marcus, they haven't really faced that great of offenses, so we're really going to see that Jaguars defense. And, the Chiefs got some weapons back. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs on this one. Put some money on them, too.
Ryan is taking the Chiefs, and he's putting money on the Chiefs. And of course, we all know that he's going to be using Sleeper to do that. Of course, we know he's going to use Sleeper. The best place to do so to put your odds and parlays down. But Simone, let's go on over to you. Who are you taking in this game?
I didn't even know the Jacksonville Jaguars were 3-1. I haven't kept up with anybody else, but yeah, that's pretty interesting there. But yeah, as a Raider fan, of course, I would want the Jacksonville Jaguars to win. But as a realistic fan, you can't count out the Chiefs. I mean, we haven't been counting them out for the past couple of weeks, and just to see how dominant they've been looking, especially in this last game, it seems like they're just getting started right now, and I don't think that Jacksonville has enough to stop them. But we'll see. But I definitely have to go with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs for this week.
All right, let's go up on to Andrew. Andrew, you're going to make it 4 out of 4 for Kansas City?
I'm no Jag lover. You guys know what happened to the Chargers in that playoff game a few years back. Trust me, I still have PTSD from that loss in that playoff game. But having said that, I do think the Chiefs are rolling. It's kind of strange why people keep talking about the Jags. I'm not a believer yet. I will say this. If they beat the Chiefs, I will be a believer. I'll be like, okay, there's something there. But I just think Spagnuolo is going to get some things going. Andy Reid is a good coach, and Patrick Mahomes looked good last week, so I think they're going to have enough weapons, despite the Jags having a pretty good defense. They're not going to stop the Chiefs this week.
Let's go ahead and let's transition on into the next one, because Orion, your Denver Broncos, who are coming off of a big win, a blowout win against the Bengals, are now facing a true test with the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Boy, oh boy, what do you have happening in this one?
Yeesh.
I know I haven't been high on our team and all, but I'm taking the Broncos this week. I think I think they're going to show some big improvements here. Although it is going to be in Philly and it is going to be a tough game. They got some turmoil boiling over there because AJ Brown's not happy. Pat Surtain is going to lock him up. I mean, that's just what he does, especially against big guys like him. He did it to DK. He's done it to Jamar Chase, all these other guys. He's going to continue to have a stellar season. He's going to lock him up. The biggest thing is going to be covering the middle of the field and stopping Saquon Barkley. If the defense can do that and the offense can just move the ball somewhat down the field, maximize, at least get some field goals, not turning the ball over, minimizing those penalties, because that's the one thing that this team definitely still has to improve on quickly is those penalties, because this offense can't get going if we continue to have penalties, and the defense, they can't get these stops if they continue to have penalties. So I expect them to clean it up. I feel like a lot of people are just going to be taking the Eagles based on the Eagles have, looked pretty dominant in a sense, and they've also, and the Broncos have also dropped, those close games. So I think this is going to be, I guess you could say, trap game, but I'm going to take the Broncos. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling.
Ryan is taking his Denver Broncos, his 2-2 Denver Broncos, to beat the 4-0 undefeated Philadelphia Eagles on the road. How about that, Ryan? I love it. Simone, let's go on over to you. You also going to ride with the hot hand here, too? You're going to ride with the undefeated team?
I know the Broncos, they definitely look real competitive last week, and rightfully so. I mean, they look good, and I feel like this game is going to be a true testament on whether or not the Broncos are for real or not. And I feel like they have a good chance at beating the Eagles. It's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be a close one, but I'm just going to go with the Eagles for the mere fact that I feel like unless they lose or show any signs of weakness, then I'm not betting against them. But I think it's going to be a competitive one overall.
Andrew, let's go on up over to you. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, that old movie, Any Given Sunday, right? That's that conversation. I think any team could beat any team in the NFL. Just look at what the Giants did to the Chargers last week. Of course, the turnovers were really the big story and penalties for that loss. Having said that, the Eagles are 4.5 points over on this. I think the Broncos, look, if they win, they're going to get a lot of kudos, just like this last game we discussed. But I just think the Eagles got a little too many weapons that the Broncos are they're going to fall short. But look, I think it'll be a competitive game. It'll probably come down to the wire, so I agree with Simone Raider that it's going to be close. But I just think the Eagles got a little too much moxie right now. And we'll see really what Bo Nix really is. I truly think he can look good against bad teams, but has he looked good against good teams?
All righty, Marcus. Well, we got 2 Philadelphia Eagles. We got 1 Denver Bronco. Are you going to make this 3 out of 4 Eagles, or are you going to have this one split perfectly down the middle?
I got the Broncos in this one. I think this is one of those games where, again, I know the Eagles are 4-0, the reigning champs. I get all that, but they don't look good. I mean, Ryan brought up some of the drama they have going on over there. I mean, AJ Brown, they're 4-0 right now. The guy's posting cryptic tweets about, about not getting utilized. And you see in his body language, him and Devontae Smith, their body language is just not good. Just interesting stats, though. So week 1 in the game against the Rams, first half, they had 33 yards. Last week in the second half against the Buccaneers, they had -1 yard on offense. They're the first 4-0 team to start 4-0 and be outgained in every one of those games, which is wild. Overall, just not – I don't know. It feels like this is the right time for that team to lose. I think the Broncos are the team to do that. And the one thing I will say, and there was a stat I brought up earlier, I mean, if it's a Bo Nix show where he's got to throw the ball a lot, I looked at – so in the 13 games, he's thrown for 30 more attempts in a game. In 10 of those games, he's throwing interceptions. So let's have more of a balanced game plan. Let's not have Bo throw too much in this game, but I do like the Broncos in this one. I think the Eagles right now, I think they're just paper champs.
Wow, this game.
I agree with you. If they can run the ball, if the Broncos can run the ball, I think they'll win it. If they can run the ball like they did against the Bengals, which obviously completely different defenses, they'll win it.
Wow. Game split perfectly down the middle. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see that one coming, but half the panel will be right next week, and half the panel will be wrong. Let's go, guys. Let's transition on to the final game. Samoan, you guys have been down and out ever since you faced the New England Patriots over the last couple of weeks. This time doesn't feel like it's going to get any easier because you are playing a team that's got Indiana Jones themselves playing lightning hot right now in the Indianapolis Colts. Is this an upset waiting to happen, and is this a game where you guys can get right? What do you think?
Well, definitely it's going to be a tough one. I mean, Indianapolis ain't no joke, 3-1. Even though they lost last week, I know they're going to be looking to bounce back this week. And from what I've seen from the Raiders last week, there's some good things there, and there's going to be a lot of things to really improve on, especially, like I said earlier, that quarterback play and how well Geno Smith will look. Honestly, like as a Raider fan, it's funny because I feel like this is one of those games that the Raiders could possibly pull up the upset and then give us a lot of hope going into playing the Tennessee Titans back at home just to lose to a winless Titans team. But I think overall, I think we're going to have a competitive matchup. I think it's still going to be another good matchup defensively. I have some trust in Ashton Genty, at least our running game, to go into this game. But I think the biggest concern, of course, is going to be the offensive line and whether or not they're going to continue to look the same. And without Colton Miller, how will this offensive line look? And then on top of that, Geno Smith, how will he look? So there's going to be a lot of questions. Awful. And at the hey, don't put that into the atmosphere, though. But hey, but I mean, you know what? Like to add on to that point, man. I think second week in a row, I'm betting on the Colts to win this one.
Samoan taking the Colts over his Raiders. Andrew, let's go on up to you. Who you taking?
It's going to be the Colts, man. Look, Colts lost to the Rams last week, but the Rams were a damn good team. Shane Steichen, as you guys know, was Justin Herbert's first offensive coordinator as a rookie, and he made things really easy for Justin Herbert to be successful his first year. He's making it really easy for Indiana Jones to sling the ball. And I'll tell you, man, Simone, you guys got a good defense, but your offense has been fairly abysmal at this point. So you're just not going to score. So it is what it is. But, bottom line, I think the Colts are going to win this one for sure.
All right, we got 2 Colts. Let's go on over to Marcus. Marcus, you going to make it 3?
I feel like the Colts should be a higher favorite than a 6.5. So that is kind of a weird number. 91% of the money is on the Colts in this game over the Raiders. Playing at Indianapolis is tough. As I mentioned before, the crazy stats. When opponents come to Indianapolis, it's kind of ridiculous, at least for the Chiefs and the Broncos. Gosh, last 3 games, the Raiders are 2-1 at Indianapolis. I'm going to go Colts, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think Raiders cover the spread, but I think the Colts win this game.
Ryan, you love to go with the hot hand. Are you going to take the Raiders for the upset?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders. This is one of those games that, what I say, every year, they have a few games where everyone thinks, they're going to lose to this team. The Colts have been hot recently. They're going to wipe the Raiders. They played against a tough Rams team. But, I mean, listen, I always listen to Marcus. Every time he talks about that spread and, where the money's at, 90%, I don't know. I just see Vegas just sees an opportunity. And the Raiders, I'm not saying they're good by any means, but this is just one of those games where it seems like a lot of teams that the Broncos will sometimes have issues with. The Raiders, the way that they match up against teams, it'll just be completely different because they play completely different styles. So I think the Raiders will win this one.
We got Ryan taking another upset, being the only one on the panel.
I want to take the Colts. I want to take the Colts.
Raiders. My
gut. It's just my gut. My gut is telling me the Raiders.
So Ryan's heart wants to pick the Colts, but his gut is telling him that it's going to be the Raiders. Let us know your guys' thoughts about these games in the comment section below. But other than that, that is going to wrap us up here for our Week 4 breakdowns and our Week 5 previews.
The AFC West Roundtable, live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m.